Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! Thank you guys so much for being with me from the very first video that was ever uploaded here on this YouTube channel. I honestly don't know where I would be without your love and support that you've continuously shown and brought forth for this YouTube channel. Together, we truly have created something special for every fan of Descendants and Zombies. So from my heart to yours, I would like to take this opportunity, this chance if I could, to say thank you so much for being with me from the very first video. I say this because many of you probably don't realize this, but it is extremely difficult for a YouTube creator to be accepted by a niche, to fall into a niche that will be incredibly supportive of what he or she believes in. And Descendants and Zombies gave me that opportunity. It presented a chance to me to meet more incredible fans than I ever thought possible. Do you think that I thought that over 3,000 people would have subscribed to this YouTube channel in less than over 1 year? I most certainly never. But when I realized it was happening for me and you guys have chosen this YouTube channel as your favorite Descendants and Zombies YouTube channel of all time, it was a feeling unlike any other feeling that I had ever had the honor of experiencing ever since I was at least 10 years old. Ever since I was 10 years old, pretty much your guys' age now, all I ever wanted was for my voice to be heard as either a radio show host or a YouTuber, and I got to be both. And I got to share in all these incredible memories with all of you as fans of Descendants and Zombies and fans of Disney that I brought together in a really unbelievable community. You guys truly became an unstoppable force for the love that you've had for your favorite characters. That could have came in the form of Dove Cameron. That could have came in the form of Sophia Carson. I have a lot of Sophia Carson fans who have been subscribing to this YouTube channel more recently. A lot of Freya Sky fans are showing up here, showing their love for Freya Sky. And I want you guys to know that I love you so much, man, because of how you show your passions for Freya. You've shown your passions for Sophia, because I can never seem to get enough of it or experience enough of it. You know, if there was one feeling in my lifetime that I could go back in time and relive over and over again, it would be how much you guys love Sophia, or how much you guys love Kylie, or how much you guys have loved Freya Sky. Because they are so young, and undeniably they still have a bright future. And I'm excited to be a part of that future as I show them more love than ever before. I want you guys to know that I got your back. Because I know that everybody on YouTube, as it's been said many times over the years, is a critic. And they don't really say the nicest things about Kylie Cantrell and Freya and their reviews. And if I was ever going to be a part of any conversation that had anything to do with any of us, it was going to have to be something nice. All I've ever wanted to do is say something nice about your favorite stars, hoping that they would see one of my videos. And I've had the honor of uploading over probably, dare I say, over 850 videos, perhaps maybe 1,000 over the last 10 years on this YouTube channel. In its archives, there were over 840 videos, I think, something along those lines, having been uploaded. And this past year was the greatest year of my life, because I got to tell you funny stories about how I thought my girlfriend may have been a vampire, my roommate may have been a werewolf, and that never comes easy. But I think I put more smiles on people's faces through telling you these stories than I ever thought possible. I've really created magic. Let me rephrase that. We together, as a Descendants and Zombies fandom, created more magic than ever possible. Do you guys remember that iconic opening scene in Descendants 2 where they were all standing around the cauldron and they were casting a spell of wickedness? And then that opening dance number, Ways to be Wicked, kicked off Descendants 2. Descendants 2 was predicted to have been one of the most beautiful productions of all time, and it certainly was. But I think that that opportunity to create magic for the villain kids really rang true, because we've been creating magic ever since we became fans of Descendants and Zombies over 10 years ago. For many Zombies fans, it's been almost a decade. Zombies is slowly but surely creeping up there as the #1 movie and most popularly demanded franchise of all time on Disney+. It occupies the #1 spot as one of the most streamed movies for any relatable content that Disney has ever thrown up there on Disney+. And I know how you guys feel. You never want to say goodbye to your favorite franchises, and I know how you feel because I've never wanted to say goodbye either. Do you think in 2008, in October of that year, I wanted to say goodbye to the High School Musical franchise? I most certainly never, because I saw how much effort people like Vanessa Hudgens, Zac Efron, and Ashley Tisdale, who was one of my favorites of that generation, put forth for their characters. It was truly incredible witnessing everything they had to endure, all the pressure they were under, and I never wanted to say goodbye. For forever, we've heard rumors about High School Musical 4. And let me tell you something, no matter how many times Disney tries to shut down the idea of High School Musical 4 ever happening, or Descendants 6, Descendants 7, Descendants 8, 9, 10, what have you, there is more of a chance than ever before because all you got to do is find a new cast that are just as appreciative of these moments being a part of franchises like High School Musical and Descendants. Because you take Kylie Cantrell, for example. Kylie Cantrell wanted to be a part of the Descendants franchise and the High School Musical franchises because she grew up a fan of it. She wanted to be a part of Descendants and High School Musical more than anything else in her lifetime. And when she finally got the opportunity to audition for Disney, she took full advantage of it. She was the most excited and the most appreciative girl that I ever saw have the opportunity to audition for Disney. Now, it's been said for many, many years Miley Cyrus was one of the most appreciative girls to ever have the opportunity to audition for Disney, but she almost knew she instantly had it. That was the thing. And you didn't really see that same appreciation coming from Miley's opportunities she was presented with than you did from Kylie Cantrell, because when Kylie Cantrell got the opportunity and the call from Disney, she was really young. So she still had a lot to learn because, as the old analogy says, you're never too old to learn something new. I'm almost 40 years old and I'm still learning new things every day. And there is never a day that passes by that I never have a new opportunity to learn something new. Because there are fans, even with how much I know about Descendants and Zombies, there are fans out there that know even more than I've ever been credited for knowing. But you know something, guys? It takes a lot of effort and a lot of heart behind every video that you ever record about Descendants and Zombies. It takes a lot of research. It takes a lot of heart to understand how a fan feels about a character such as Sophia Carson and Dove Cameron, who many of you have idolized for forever. And it's not really hard to see why. It doesn't take somebody a degree in rocket science to figure out why you love Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson as much as what you do. It's because of their fashion sense, how beautiful they are, how incredibly talented they've seemed to be over the years because they played more than just one character. Dove Cameron's played characters such as, I think, Bubbles on the Powerpuff Girls live action on the CW. Unfortunately, it was canceled, but even though it was a very short-lived series, I think a lot of people took away a greater appreciation for that. She played in Schmigadoon, which was one of the most successful on-stage productions of all time. It was also televised. She played Kayla Morgan in Cloud 9, which is a Disney Channel original movie that I think a lot of people forgot about. Herself and Luke Bennett, and their chemistry was truly undeniable. And I remember how nervous she was to be in these love scenes with Luke Bennett, because he was this tall guy, and a lot of people had to convince Dove Cameron that everything was going to be all right. I've often wanted to try to audition for some of these Disney Channel movies and some of these definitive roles. I don't know about you guys and how you guys feel about it, but I think Jonathan Clarke would win the honor of being in the role of one of these Disney Channel movies hands down, because of just how appreciative I've been of these moments, because I got to share in many of them with each and every one of you. Just yesterday, we celebrated the 61st anniversary of the 101 Dalmatians production. And I'll tell you guys a little story. That was the first Disney movie that I ever watched in my life. I wasn't very old. I was probably 7 years old when my mom bought the VHS tape for me, because years ago, the only thing you could acquire were VHS editions of the Disney classics. It was called the Walt Disney Masterpiece Collection, so there were about 30 movies in this collection. And if you had this collection to this date in time, that collection will be worth thousands of dollars. I think one of the highest rated Disney classics of the Masterpiece Collection was Beauty and the Beast. That one comes in, if you have the original VHS case and the original VHS cassette, it is valued at over $10,000, I kid you not. So you got to have the original one that was never ever opened. You got to take that into consideration. And if you have it, you can sell it for over $10,000 on eBay or Amazon or something like that. I would love to have the opportunity to have that. I actually had it when I was a kid. And I don't have many of them that I used to have years ago, but if I still had them, they would be worth thousands of dollars. So it just puts into perspective how legendary these characters are. So when you think about the portrayal of something like the Evil Queen's daughter Evie, or Maleficent's daughter Mal, who was desperately trying to find her place in Auradon, it really puts into perspective just how fantastic of a job these characters have been brought to life by Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson, because it's something called character development. Now, for those of you who are too young to understand what character development is, now, many of you are far smarter than you're ever given credit for, and that's one thing I've never ever wanted any of you to forget. I mean, Kylie Cantrell's been rocking the world for forever with her dance moves and her ability to sing these beautiful songs like Boy and Goody Bang and Boot Up. I love every single one of Kylie Cantrell's songs, and she's proven to be smarter than she's ever given credit for. And the most amazing thing about Kylie is Kylie still has a long way to go. But when it comes to character development for the character Red, I mean, nobody did it better than what Kylie Control ever could. I don't care who you would have put in that role. Nobody was able to do it as good as what Kylie Control does, or far more effective. She was so fearless, she was so strong, she never cared what anybody thought of her. And then off of camera, Kylie Control is this emotional person who is just overcome with emotion. Her emotions are really getting the better of her. And it has everything to do with how she really takes into consideration how you feel about how she is as a performer. I don't think that Kylie Control needs to go back and reinvent herself or redistribute her content. I think what Kylie Control needs to do is realize she's offering something special to every fan of hers. And the quicker she understands that and responds to that, she's going to be a better person. I understand Kylie Control for the person that she is, how she's very gifted in creating crafts for her family and her friends. She takes great pride in putting together these gift baskets, which probably many of you already know. But when I saw Kylie Control put together one of her first ever gift baskets that she showed us in a vlog for her mom, and I saw the connection that she had between herself and her mother, I said, oh man, this is a moment that I've really got to take time and appreciate, really absorb. I say this because I really wish more guys would take an opportunity upon themselves, amongst themselves, to really understand a girl's feelings and how a girl appreciates things that many guys really can't, take the time to really understand. And that's why a lot of relationships really don't work out. Let's say you're very passionate about playing the piano like Freya Sky. If you're very passionate about playing the piano like Freya Sky, the best thing that a guy could ever offer you is the chance to explore your dreams and to achieve them and support you in every way imaginable. Do you guys remember how in the original live-action Spider-Man's Peter Parker would always go out of his way to meet up with Mary Jane at the local theater in New York, New York? The reason why he did that every night after work he would be seen in the front row of the local theater to see Mary Jane Watson perform, was because he loved her so much. And because he loved her so much, he didn't care what her dreams were. All he ever wanted for her to do was pursue those dreams, and he wanted to be incredibly supportive of them. Even though sometimes some things would get in the way, at the end of every Spider-Man chapter, he was right by her side, supporting every dream that she ever had. And that's what was so amazing to me about the original Spider-Man live actions, were just how supportive they were of each other. And I think a lot of us, more of us than ever given credit for, have learned from these stories about Mal and Mitt, have learned from these stories and taken something special away from Red and Chloe's adventures. Because even with how many adventures we've already seen, we still have so many adventures left to experience. And, every day is an opportunity to have a new adventure with your friends. I know a lot of you have wanted to be a part of the Descendants franchises for forever, and who's to say that it can't happen for you? If you notice anything about my reviews that separate my reviews from everybody else's reviews on YouTube is, I've always wanted you to believe in your dreams, even if that was to be a part of the Descendants and Zombies franchise, because many of you have been fans of it from its very beginning. And that's what I feel so passionate about you guys, how passionate you are about collecting your favorite Descendants and Zombies dolls. I must say the 10th anniversary dolls they released to commemorate the 10th anniversary of Descendants was truly phenomenal, because everybody wanted them. Everybody wanted the Rise of Red dolls too, and these Halloween costumes that many girls took themselves on the opportunity to dress up as their favorite Descendants character and show up at my door for many years because they knew I was a YouTuber. And you wouldn't believe how many girls would show up at my door trying to convince me to create a Descendants podcast for every fan of Descendants. They said, hey, Jonathan Clarke, we know you've covered professional wrestling and professional sports for years, but we think it would be cool for you to host a Descendants and Zombies podcast for us and tell us what you think. I will go home and subscribe to you. And from the very first moment that a girl told me she was going to go home and subscribe to me on YouTube, something, she did. Even if I had probably just 5 videos up in the first few weeks of the podcast, she subscribed to it. I have no idea where she is out there in the world tonight, but she inspired thousands of people to subscribe to this crazy guy at YouTube who had a story to share with each and every one of you. And many of you have been with me from the very beginning. The first 150, something like 165 subscribers that I ever had on this YouTube channel and had the honor to share my story with. I don't know if they ever took me seriously, but they've been here ever since. And that is what's so adorable about the Descendants and Zombies community, how undeniably, incredibly supportive you've been of who and what you love. And unquestionably, everybody's seen something special in Jonathan Clarke. Maybe that has something to do with how I believed in your dreams just as much as you have. And I really don't care what your dream is as long as you achieve it. Many of you have dreams of wanting to be on a sports team like the volleyball team or the cheerleading squad like Addison from the Zombies franchise. And man, was she ever a beautiful cheerleader. And did she ever show so much enthusiasm with that character. Remember how Zed wanted to join the football team and he looked at Addison in that iconic elevator scene? He said, Addison, the zombies have to win a football. If the zombies don't win a football, we'll never be accepted. Now, I don't know if it ever came down to them having to win a football to achieve acceptance, because they achieved acceptance in so many unimaginable ways, and unforgettable ways too. And it didn't really mean they had to win a football, but at that point in the franchise, that's what he believed he had to do. So he was just putting out there that if you have a dream, you got to follow that dream, and you got to continue to follow your passion. Like how Ichabod Crane wanted to find his way to Sleepy Hollow in the Sleepy Hollow Classic over 100 years ago. He may have taken the wrong way and encountered the Headless Horseman, but he eventually would find his way to Sleepy Hollow, and he would go on to achieve all of his dreams. Come to think of it, every year on Halloween, when Halloween approaches, I've always wanted to meet Ichabod Crane just so I could give him the opportunity to go the right way instead of the wrong way to encounter the Headless Horseman. Because everybody does have a light, and they do eventually find that light. And I know that sounds very reminiscent of Cloud from Final Fantasy VII, but when you really sit back and put it into perspective, Cloud was really talking a whole lot of sense. I said to myself, geez, man, this Cloud guy, he really knows what he's talking about. Everybody does have a light, and everybody does eventually find it. And that's all I've ever wanted you guys to do, to continue to pursue your dreams and follow virtually every single one of them. Because the more that you follow them, the more of a reality they will become for you. And if anyone out there has ever believed in Descendants of Zombies with all of their heart, I think that is really cool. And I think there is always a new opportunity and a new innovative way for you to follow your heart and to pursue every single dream that you've ever had. It has been my honor to record over 850 videos and share with you my story about how I became a fan of Descendants of Zombies, and I will never forget any of you for giving me the chance and allowing me the opportunity to share with you my story about how I became a fan of these incredible franchises. What an incredible story. What a phenomenal journey I felt like I've been a part of for a very long time. I know I may have an itchy nose every morning just over 8:30 when I record these podcasts, but I mean, you can't blame a guy for trying. And I'm just hoping that everybody's going to subscribe, because I never promote any of these videos. I just throw them up on my X account, my social media accounts, and hope for the better. Many YouTube creators have all these unique strategies they've continued to follow over the years, and they got like 20,000 subscribers. But no other Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time has over 4,000 people subscribed to it, making us the #1 and certainly the most popular and revered Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time. It has been so much fun for me to create all this relatable content for every fan of Descendants of Zombies and share with you my story about how I became a fan of Descendants of Zombies, and not only that, but whatever I was a fan of. Superheroes, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Goosebumps, Are You Afraid of the Dark, vampire TV shows like The Vampire Diaries, which, by the way, if Freya Sky has a desire to binge watch, I'm all there for it. I just recently took in over 150 episodes, or something like 200 episodes of The Vampire Diaries and Supernatural, so I'm good to go. If there's a guy out there that's been more prepared for a zombie apocalypse than ever before, it's Jonathan Clarke. So look no further than your preparations to prepare yourself and your loved ones for a zombie apocalypse and zombies coming in through your window at any given moment than Jonathan Clarke, because he will definitely set you in the right direction and on the right path. Guys, there are never enough opportunities, or seemingly never enough time, to have these wonderful conversations with so many wonderful fans of Descendants of Zombies, and even with how many fans of Descendants of Zombies I have met. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed here. I still have so many incredible fans of Descendants of Zombies to meet, and so many people who have yet to subscribe. So every time somebody subscribes to this YouTube channel, it basically sends a message to the algorithm, so more people can find these videos get recommended. I've never cared about monetization opportunities or qualifying for the YouTube Partnership Program, because what's the point? All I've ever wanted is to meet incredible fans of Descendants of Zombies, and I got to do that. So I'm really good to die. I'm good to go, man, because if there was one niche that I was going to go out with in a blaze of glory, it would have to be Descendants of Zombies. And I've had no regrets talking about Liamani, Ruby, Kylie, Dove, Carlos, of course Cameron Boyce. You want to keep going, Jonathan? Sure. Sarah Jeffries. You guys get the point. I've loved having these conversations with so many incredible fans of Descendants of Zombies, and also about superheroes and video games and movies and attending movie premieres and Man, if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, you're probably going to want to go ahead and do that because I have so much to share with you when it comes to Descendants of Zombies, and I've loved every single moment that I've had to share with every fan of Descendants of Zombies. You guys have known me for being the biggest Ruby Rose Turner fan ever and the biggest fan of Descendants of Zombies that you probably have ever seen on YouTube, and I've given you some of the best reviews and breakdowns and analogies that you've ever heard or ever seen on YouTube, and we're going to keep this conversation going for forever, because I've always believed this story never has to be over, because why does it really have to be when you're touching the hearts of thousands of fans in every video that you've ever had the honor of uploading? Guys, from my heart to yours, thank you so much for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time. Keep watching for new archives to drop in the YouTube channel archives all throughout today, because we've got so much to get to. So many people are looking up Descendants 3. I'll probably share with you my thoughts on Descendants 3 and how much it meant to this franchise and how much of an impact it made back in 2019. On August 2nd, 2019, Descendants 3 first prepared. We will get to all that. We will also talk about the futures of Descendants of Zombies that are in store and give you guys even more to be excited about in that unforeseeable future. Thank you so much for having watched this video and believing in Descendants of Zombies and me, yours truly, Jonathan Clarke, as much as what you have. Thank you so much for watching this video.